Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar on Indianapolis cash flow homes. Glad you all could make it tonight. My name is Garrett Stason, and I will be co-hosting with our realtor out in Indianapolis, Christopher Jones.
Hey guys, good evening.
Hey Chris. Hey Chris. So yeah, so you guys will all be learning a lot of information tonight, and it's my job as a real estate advisor to help you do something with that information. So, who is Marshall Reddick? Oops, got carried away there. There's a little delay. Hold on a sec. Back. All right. So, who is Marshall Reddick? Marshall Reddick Real Estate is a fully licensed real estate broker in California. So what we do is we help clients buy and sell property within California. We also help people purchase outside of California through our real estate agents in specific markets, just like Chris. Marshall Reddick is also a private money lender, where we lend to those who cannot qualify for conventional lending. And if that is the case for some of you, we can definitely have a side conversation regarding that. And then finally, we are a licensed California property manager, spanning from Los Angeles, California to Orange County. So, a little bit about me. I always have to put a face to the name. Like I said, my name is Garrett Stason. I am a real estate advisor and realtor here at Marshall Reddick. I'm a licensed real estate agent, which I've been since 2013. I graduated from the University of Arizona with a bachelor's degree in economics. And what sparked my interest in real estate was I had a lot of family members in the industry, grandparents that were realtors, uncles who were doing the private money lending. So once I found out about Marshall Reddick through a friend, actually, it just made perfect sense for me to apply what I've learned as a financial advisor over at Fidelity, actually, for the past 3 years to Marshall Reddick and helping clients invest in real estate. So essentially what I do when I'm not working, so on Sundays pretty much, I like being outdoors, playing golf, snowboarding, and surfing. It's tough during the winters here, so I like to stay inside and avoid the cold. But needless to say, this is a little bit who I am, and I've always wanted to put a face to the name for you guys, so I'll carry on. So a question I sometimes get from our clients is, like, what do you do? What is your role here? So first off, I am a free service to all of you. I'm extremely flexible with clients as far as time goes. You know, I understand the majority of you guys, clients, have families, have full-time jobs, and have a life outside of that. So it's my job to find that time for you. I'm as early, I can be in as early or as late as need be. I speak with clients on the weekends if necessary, so don't feel like you're imposing on me. I'm here to help you guys. I meet with clients in person, I meet with them over the phone, and I email them, just depending on everyone's situation and time frame. So it really doesn't matter if this is your first property or if this is your 15th property that you're purchasing. I approach every client the same way. Now that being said, every client is different. What I mean by this is that they have different financial circumstances, time frames, interests, budgets, and the reason why you're investing. Each person that I talk to has a different reason for why they're investing. So what I do is I customize a plan for each individual or couple. I'm here from the first time we speak over the phone or in person or email until you sign on the dotted line for your new property. I make everything, and I want to make sure everything is extremely transparent for you to understand and visually see the process through and through. So essentially, the better communication that we have up front, the better experience we're all going to have, and the more success we're going to have in finding your investment property. So here is the basis of our foundation as far as what I do here. Understanding your own individual criteria will get us off to the right start. It's very, very imperative that we uncover all of these items listed above. This will only benefit you because what I do is to take this information, process it, and help you find the right property like I mentioned. So most clients, it's the reason, what are you looking to achieve out of this? Are you looking to achieve income? Are you looking to achieve cash flow? Or is it someone who's looking to buy something where it's going to appreciate over the long run? So we want to find these specific markets that, factor in cash flow and appreciation. A huge thing is, when are you looking to retire? I ask this question a lot is because one of my good friends, he is 25 years old. He actually just bought a property for appreciation. He bought it out in Arizona. So he's looking for more of an appreciation market, not as much cash flow. He's single, doesn't have the overhead, doesn't have as many expenses as some people have, so cash flow isn't an issue to him. Whereas on the other hand, his dad, who's close to retirement, who I believe is around 63, 64, is just looking for cash flow. So all he's doing is investing in, the C-class properties, which I'll get to in a second. And again, this all goes back to what is your risk tolerance, what do you feel comfortable with, and then, these last two, I guess, go hand in hand, but can you qualify for financing, and how much can you afford? And this is a process that I go through with each and one of my clients, is making sure all these are touched upon. The chart below shows you the Marshall-Reddick property classes. This is a major factor in how we identify the right property for you. I'll go over this in a little bit of detail right now, but I will also provide you with the property ebook link on our website that goes into a lot more detail on this. So essentially, as you can see very clearly, on the left-hand side, we have the luxury through all the way down A, B, and C to D class. So if you look at the luxury end, it's going to tailor to more of an appreciating market. A lot of these homes are over the median home price in the metropolitan area. There's a higher purchase price, which again will attract higher tenant quality, longer tenants, just because they've most likely owned in the past or are looking to own, which will treat the property a lot better. Those are more of the appreciating markets that we see. As you go down to C class, you look at more of a cash flow market. So it's just a lower purchase price, and obviously the A and the luxury, the tenant quality is just a little bit different as far as the type of tenants that are in there. Needless to say, neither A or C is better or worse than any other one. It just depends on your situation. What are you looking for? With Marshall-Reddick, though, we do eliminate the luxury class and the D class for specific reasons. Luxury class is just way too expensive to see any type of return, and it's going to take a large down payment for you to see any type of return on that specific property. And then D class is all Section 8 housing. It's just not something you want to deal with, especially with your first time investing. You don't want to deal with these tenants. It's a lower class area that we just try to avoid all the time. So, like I was mentioning, where you can find the property rating ebook in more detail is right on our website. So if you go to marshallreddick.com and then under the Invest tab, once you click on that, off to the right-hand side will be the Understanding Property Classes. So download that, read it. I highly, highly recommend you all read that after we get off the conference today, which will help you understand Marshall-Reddick and its system a lot better. So where to choose, or this is a huge, before I pass you off to Chris, I wanted to go over the slides. It's a huge question. Many investors still don't know where to invest. It's a huge question. What do I look for when trying to find the best investment property? That's my role here. A lot of clients have the urge, have the confidence to purchase property, but that's all they can get towards as far as accomplishing that. So they're trying to find out, where do I invest, what's the best area, and that's where I come in and help you uncover these. So Marshall-Reddick believes in investing in these 7 key points. So finding a metropolitan market that covers all 7 of these. So we have the, we want to make sure we're in a market that is a very, very strong job market, where there's a lot of jobs out there. That's just attracting the right people, the right employment. We want to make sure, along with that, with the strong job market, is going to decrease the vacancy rates. So we always want to be in markets; those two go hand in hand. Along with that is the economic diversity, and what I mean by that is just different types of sectors within a metropolitan market. So you have your healthcare, your technology, your agriculture, engineering. So we want to make sure we're in a market that can support many different levels of economic diversity. So if something were to happen to one industry, the entire economy in that specific metropolitan market doesn't go down the drain. We're also in specific areas and states where it's all landlord friendly versus tenant friendly. So if you're in California, you probably have an idea of what I'm talking about. So we want to make sure that you're protected if and anything comes up. We also believe in strong educational systems that support the metropolitan market. So choosing these markets where they're surrounded by good schools, low crime rates, and then lastly, reliable property management. And property management is a huge, huge, huge factor when it comes to investing in real estate, which I can't stress enough. So we always want to get you in touch with the right property management that we've worked with in the past, and we only use them because our clients have had great experiences with them. At the end of the day, you can choose whoever you want for property management, but you want to make sure it's the right people for you and helping you, achieve your success with your investment property. So now comes the fun part. I will introduce you over to Christopher Jones, who is our regional rep out in Indianapolis. Chris, do you want to take it away from here? Hold on a sec. Chris, you there?
I was hoping you'd see that. Hi guys, my name is Christopher Haven Jones, and I am a real estate agent here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I grew up here, and I am very biased to my city. As you can see, this is our downtown canal. It's just a gorgeous place to live. But let's talk about Indy for a moment. Now, why should you invest in Indianapolis? One of the great things about this city and the surrounding areas is that you get a lot of space for your dollar, which is going to be important to your renters and to your candidates, because we are spoiled out here. We have one of the lowest cost of livings for a major city in America, and we have just an expectation of rooms for every child and yards to house every dog. So we're able to provide that. So the property you're buying is going to be nice. It's going to have a lot of space, and it's going to have a good yard, which will be very attractive to the people who are going to be renting it. Now, it does say we handpicked the cash flow investments, and what that means is I am combing through our database, and I am identifying neighborhoods and properties that meet the criteria for Marshall Reddick and also for the investors, for you guys, to make sure that we don't have any major problems. I go through them, I walk through them. I'm in these neighborhoods every single day, so I have a good feel of what's moving and what's renting and what sort of neighborhoods and sort of communities are we building within these areas that are renting. Oh, there's me, and there's my mugshot. I am the lead on my own team, the Jones team, and I've been a real estate broker for about 10 years here in Indianapolis. I am a part of the National Association of Realtors, so I get to wear the realtor tag with pride. I am affiliated with Keller Williams and celebrating my 1-year anniversary with them here, and as well as I also graduated from the University of Arizona, just like Garrett did. I graduated with a degree in music as well as a Bachelor of Science in Business Management. And before I was working with real estate, I was a recruiter for a company called Management Recruiters International, where I recruited general counsels and worked with attorneys and put them into corporate settings and moved them around. So I do have a full practice where I work with investors. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. I do have a luxury market, but we will be focusing mainly on the A, B, and C properties. I do have relationships with land sellers as well as builders. In a handful of cases, it might be worth everybody's while to take a look to see what's being built or if there's any specs in the neighborhood that we can get and can turn a profit for you. So that's me. There's my contact information if you have any generalized questions before or after the presentation for Indianapolis or about me. I'm happy to answer them. I am on Eastern time, so it is later in the evening for me. It's 9:45, but I keep my phone and my shingle out till about 11 o'clock my time so we can accommodate for the time change. I'm happy to work into the night for the California buyers. So why Indianapolis? And once again, I did say I am biased. We do have amazing attractions, which includes one, we're a city that's on the White River, so we have lovely views, and as you can see, from the Super Bowl, this giant over in the right, that should be a blue hotel, but it's gorgeous. We had a lot of development thanks to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. We also have the #1 children's museum in the world, and that is not a biased fact. It is world-renowned, and people do come in from all over the place to see that. And what that means to you is that it's bringing in companies and corporations, because we're very corporate friendly here in Indianapolis, and we make it attractive for companies to come here and create jobs, which then creates a need for housing. And a lot of times these jobs like Eli Lilly, we have Roche here, we have Salesforce, a lot of these jobs come in on contracts and they need to find housing for 1 to 3 years, and that means that they have to make a decision on whether or not to purchase and try to sell or to look for housing in the rental market. And not all of them necessarily want to be in apartments, so they look to our city markets and our surrounding cities for areas that will feel like home, and they can create an environment for themselves and their family that is a homier, non-urban environment. So looking at the real estate data, with all those factors in mind, we do have a considerable amount of data and show a very strong rental history, not just in the apartments, but in exactly what we're encouraging you to invest in, which is the homes and the neighborhoods and the vitality of these outlying, of these Indianapolis and its surrounding cities. And the prices or rental rates is exactly what will drive these jobbers coming in for 3 to 5 years into the rental market. And what's also driving it is we've had a tremendous amount of national attention on our school systems, especially in the Hamilton Southeastern, which is the Fishers, Noblesville, Geist, and we'll get to those areas in a moment. But also we have Center Grove, we also have Avon. We've got several schools that are top tier and are receiving national attention to look how we're modeling, look at the education systems, and start duplicating them across the nation. And most importantly, because we have such low prices per square footage, you're able to very easily invest in a property and generate positive cash flow almost immediately. So more attractions. We do have fantastic arts, which is I'm partial to because that's where my primary degree is from. That picture of the IRT, it's an equity theater, so we do support professional actors, and we do support the Professional Actors Union. The Indiana Canal, that's a great example of the revitalization and the gentrification of our downtown area. The canal actually used to be a functional canal that would go all the way through the state and carry our barge full of dry goods and other transportables, etc., and they would be drawn by Clydesdales. However, that became very quickly too expensive to maintain, so it is now just a decorative place for people to come, and I jog on the canal every day. We see the same, the families and everybody just really drawn to our downtown area. And of course we have the Colts, which we could talk about more if we were talking about last season. We didn't do so well this last week in London, so we'll move on. But we do have great professional sports. We also have a new soccer team. We have a baseball team. So we have the Indianapolis Fever, which is our women's basketball team, and of course the Pacers. Once again, all of these are great items that bring people to Indianapolis, and it's bringing jobs to Indianapolis. So of course, I touched on the museum. We do have the Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in racing, and the White River State Park. That is another picture of our canal, and it's also where our zoo is. And once again, it's a great example of how much green space we have, how much family-friendly, how much room we have to grow in Indiana and to Indianapolis specifically, and to give people options on what they want to do and how to spend their time. So what we're seeing is that people are coming and they are staying. Jobs are bringing people here, and they are eager to come work in Indianapolis. So we do rank in the top 14th largest city. We do have and we are the amateur sports capital of the world, and that is largely because we house the corporate headquarters for NCAA, the Amateur Sports Foundation, and we have, once again, we touched on quite a bit of this. We did host the Super Bowl. We have NCAA finals frequently. The Brickyard 400 every year, the Grand Prix, and the Indy 500 are all attractions that continue to help grow Indianapolis and creates a community that is invested in itself and maintains its city and it grows its city to continue to attract people like yourselves to come invest and then to make some positive cash flow. And we rank the number one from real estate investing investors in the country because we have low purchase price and we do have considerable amount of rental income. All right, Indianapolis is known as the crossroads of America. It is served by 12 airlines and 13 interstate highways. Almost 75% of the U.S. is within a one-day's drive, and that is true because I say that I typically I'll drive out to Chicago or St. Louis or Louisville. They're all great cities just within a couple hours of where I am. We're right in the middle of the state, and businesses are attracted to Indy Central location because it's inexpensive for them. It's a very affordable option for supplies and to bring clients in and out, which makes it a very competitive relocation destination because we are growing with all of our corporations, and it's very important that we provide access for these companies to bring their people, their goods, and their supplies in and out. And as of 2015, 3 Fortune 500 companies were based in the city, including Anthem, Eli Lilly, where all of our lovely pharmaceuticals come from, and Calumet Specialty Product Partners. Now, this is a fun fact that I didn't know, thank you research team, more interstate highways intersect within Indianapolis than any other city in the U.S. I guess that's why we are the crossroads of America. Welcome to the Hoosier Heartland. All right, home to 1,500 distribution farms employing 100,000 workers. And what that means to you is that it's just reinforcing the fact that we do have people that are in the rental market, and we have a very, very fluid real estate market when it comes to buying, selling, as well as leasing. And with these new jobs and this growth, once again, I can't stress enough that we have a need for rental properties because we have these people that are coming in on these 1 to 5 year contracts. And in 2015, CNBC ranked Indiana as lowest cost doing business in the U.S. And if you look to the right of the slide, you can see a greater breakdown of the companies that we have and the number of people that they employ. And a good example of these Eli Lilly and Company, those are some of the companies that I'm talking about where we have jobbers coming in from all over the world that needs housing. And of course we have the employees for IUPUI, which is our satellite school for Indiana University as well as Purdue University. And we do have a great draw for graduate students who also may be looking for a more home environment versus something in the city, which is quite frankly beyond the reach of their pocketbooks. Downtown Indianapolis right now, a one-bedroom apartment that is, I would say maybe 900 square feet, apartment is renting close to $2,000. So it's very quickly becoming an expensive area, the downtown area. So we look to the surrounding areas like Fishers, like Greenwood, like Brownsburg, to create a place where families can go, students can go, workers can go and have a home and not feel like they are outside of the vitality of Indianapolis, because they are moments by car. There are some of our great colleges. We have Indiana University, Purdue University, IUPUI. I have been there quite a bit. I do take continuing ed classes just for the fun, some adult learning. It's a great option for our commuters who can't necessarily go to Bloomington or go to Lafayette, where both of those campuses are located. They're able to stay in Indy, and they're able to work and live and, for whatever reason, be in Indianapolis and earn a degree from those two universities. Of course, we have the Butler Bulldogs, Butler University. That's a private school right in the heart of our Meridian Kessler area, and they are, they just won the national championship not too long ago. University of Indianapolis is also a great private school, and it caters to a lot of our business students. Once again, it's another good draw, bringing people and corporations in. Then, of course, we do have the Indiana School of Medicine is located here, and it's affiliated with several hospitals in the area as teaching hospitals, including Methodist Wishart Hospital and Riley Hospital, which are two more examples of bringing in specialists and jobbers to work on research projects where they're going to be local, but they're going to be local for 1 to 5 years, so they're probably going to be looking for a house to rent versus a house to buy. So Indianapolis by the numbers. As of 2015, the Indianapolis metro area population is 1,658,439, and since that means it's a growth of 16.4%. Now, millennials make up more than a fourth of Indiana's total population. The baby boomers, on the other hand, are now slightly less than 1/4 of the population. And what that means is we have people who are on the verge of making big life decisions, and we found that they would rather rent for right now and take a little bit more time in their life and a little bit more savings for a purchase, and they'll spend 1 to 5 years renting in what is familiar to them, which is a home, versus an urban apartment. And the cost of living, moving on to the cost of living, it's 7.3% below cost of average, so it's reinforcing what I said in my introduction. And the Indianapolis housing market's current median home is $148,700. And for that buys quite a bit of home. For the median home, that can buy quite a bit of square footage, depending on the location. The price is driven by the school networks as well as the proximity to the interstates and proximity to amenities. And the median income is $52,268. So moving forward, Indiana local government ranks 5 amongst the least expensive large cities for doing business, ranked top 10 cities to relocate in 2011 and 2012. Indiana is financially secure with a state surplus and a rainy day fund. Indiana created 40,000 jobs last year, second only to Texas and 6 times the national average. Just as a point of fact, Indiana does have written into their constitution that we always work in a surplus. Our state, our budget must balance. We will never operate into a debit. So we are more fun facts. First in top cities for recent graduates, ranked among the top 10 places to relocate, 4.17% job growth in the metro area in 2015 according to Forbes, which reinforces again people are coming to Indy, Indy is growing, and we are indeed a stable place for your investment dollar. Now you can get a full copy of the 18-page market data report email Garrett, and he'll be able to send you a copy, which will be similar to the their report, but it will be Indianapolis specific. All right, time for the first poll question. I'll give you back to Garrett.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. So I like to do 2 polls throughout the presentation here just to make sure you guys are engaged. So the first poll I'm going to launch up here. Your answers are all confidential. We're not going to post them on anything, so don't worry about that. But I'm going to give you some time to answer these, about 20 seconds or so. So the first poll question is, why are you interested in the Indianapolis real estate market? Are you looking for a stable and growing economy, job market, or do you want a property that will appreciate, looking for cash flow, personal reasons, which we do see sometimes as far as having family or relatives in a specific area, or you're just not too sure yet, and that's why you're here. So I'll give you guys about another 15 seconds or so. All right, a couple more seconds. All right. So I will hit share here for you guys to see what everyone else kind of chose, and I like to see you know, a fluctuation between all of these responses. But for those who selected positive cash flow, you're in the right area. You're looking at Indy, which will definitely give you that positive cash flow, which will Chris will go over for you when we show you some example properties here. So awesome. I appreciate your participation, and we'll continue.
Back to me?
Yes, sir.
All righty.
Hold on. Did you? We'll get you there.
All righty.
All right.
Okay. Alrighty. So Money Magazine and Inman News, a real estate industry trade magazine, rate Indianapolis as nation's #1 city for making money renting homes, touting a 300% return on a 10-year investment. Now that is true, and that's going to be based on positive cash flow, as well as we are experiencing record amounts of appreciation in Indianapolis and its surrounding areas, the metro area. The metro, and let me clarify that. The metro area is Indianapolis, and then to the north, where we have the Hamilton Southeastern, which is the #1 school district, we have Fishers, Westfield, Carmel, and Noblesville. Those areas, when I'm talking about the surrounding areas, those are the primary northern areas. We also have Brownsburg and Avon, which have extraordinary schools, and they are to our west, and then our southern surrounding area is the Greenwood Center Grove area. And all of those schools have fantastic ratings, they have fantastic programs, and outstanding results for their students. And there's about 17.5 per teacher in Indianapolis, so that's one of the big draws. Now, a big question I receive is about property taxes and how it is below the national average. In Indiana, we have written into the Constitution, this was voted in about, I believe, 6 or 7 years ago, that the property tax is capped. We have what's called a Cap 1, which is for owner-occupied properties, primary properties, and then we have a Cap 2, which is livable property, which is what you will be investing in. As investors, non-owner occupant property, you are Cap 2. And what that means is that according to the assessed value of the property, which is separate from the purchase price, which is separate from your appraisal, but the assessed property will be taxed at 2%, no more than 2%. And there are some areas in town where we don't tax the full 2%. So when we look at these properties, that's one of the things we look at when we're putting in an offer, is what will the actual tax rate be. But it will always be below 2%. Okay? And here's an example of our property appreciation. As you can see, from 1991 all the way up until we had the little mishap in the 2000s when we had the parking correction. We're moving up. And then we've seen extraordinary growth in 2010, 2013, and 2014 and 15. It just keeps climbing. And that's a great thing about real estate. I can't reinforce this enough, is that real estate always goes up in the long term. When you buy and hold, you really can't lose because the property will always, always go up. We'll hit market shifts like we did when we had the mortgage bubbles break, but we have corrected ourselves, and once again, as you can see, we are moving forward and we are moving up. And our rent index, as you can see, we are moving up. All of these slides are going to reinforce how Indianapolis is a great place for your dollar. And I would like to get to the properties. Now, here's an example. Let's pause here for just a second. If you look at the map on the left of your screen, that is a breakdown of the school townships. And it takes us up to Washington, and just above Washington where you see Fishers, Carmel, Westville, Noblesville, that is the area that we'll be looking at for Hamilton Southeastern. And if you go below the map, you'll see where Greenwood schools are, and then to the west, which is to the left, you'll see where Brownsburg, Avon, just to give you an idea of the geography of the city and the surrounding areas. I myself went to Washington Township, which is at the top of 465 and the top of that map. And income properties for me to you. All right, we have the first offering is in Noblesville, which is the northern part of Hamilton Southeastern. This is listed at the very top of our A class. This is almost into the luxury property, and that is determined by the price of the house as well as the location and the square footage. As you can see, the investment capital needed $52,344.13. And going down to this chart, you can see that the rents are determined by me, and I work with a couple of property management companies that I am familiar with to run them by them to make sure that I'm in the zone. But what I typically do is look at the neighborhood. I look at the specs of the house and make sure we're matching. We're within 20% of the square footage. We're within 5 to 10 years of the year of the house built, and ideally we're within the same neighborhood. And I look at the rentals and to see what has been rented in the last 60 to 90 days. And this property I worked on today, it does show a history of 1,500 plus for these properties that are the 3 and 2.5 bath in the neighborhood and in Noblesville. So the total monthly expenses on this is $1,160.95. Now all of these in the parentheses, these are estimates based on the companies that we have data for and that we've worked with before. The HOA fee is what is charged, and it's charged annually, particularly in this property, so it breaks out to $25 per month. So your monthly income on this would actually be $339.05, which is not bad. Now, the maintenance fee and the vacancy, those are all estimates, and those are not direct cash draws on your monthly income. They are fees that could be there, and they are negotiable based on the property management companies that you do choose. And we do have a selection of companies we have worked with, and we do have a familiarity. Now, what you'll see, which is important, is that there's a 15-year projected profit of $87,989 and some change. And a return on investment over 15 years, that's 11.21%. And that is a fantastic return on your dollar. So moving to the next one, we have Courage Crossing, Fishers. This is in a neighborhood called Brooks Chase, which is an exciting neighborhood because it's built around its own little town center. It has its own little restaurants. It has its own own amenities, but it's also right next to the Hamilton Southeastern major business center. So it's very, very popular for young families, for people coming in to work jobs and to contract here with Eli Lilly and other such companies. One, for the school district, and two, for the location in the suburban area to get away from the city, but also have amenities that are just a stone's throw away. And this one is listed at $149,900, and with a down payment of 25% and closing costs and the initial repair costs, which this house is in pretty good shape, so it would not need new carpet. The paint job is very recent, so that $1,000 really is looking toward a rekeying fee and to just making sure that we have an industrial clean when we get in there, so it's ready. But as far as anything major, those have already been handled. But the initial investment needed would be $44,658.38. And the rent in this neighborhood, this one would rent for a little bit more, approximately between $100 and $125 more. But we do have quite a few. We have quite a few assets in the market there right now, which at $1,275 you're still making a nice monthly income, but it keeps you competitive in the market, which is where we find success, is by being the nicest house at the lowest price on the street is how you get rented. And we want to make sure that the numbers that we present to you do bring you an income, keeps you competitive, attracts the 12-plus month lease options, so you can just be secure in your investment. Now, once again, going down those fees, you can take a look at those for yourself on the estimates based on a 4.25 interest rate, the taxes based on the cap 2, the insurance, and then the HOA fee, and for total monthly expenses of $989.03, which brings a monthly income of $285.97 is the money coming in. And once again, these last three numbers, they will be part of your profit and loss statement some months, but not all months. And when we talk about each property, we can go through those numbers specifically. And again, if you look down at the important numbers, $75,411.31 for a 15-year project profit. That's an 11.26% annual ROI. And that's a fantastic return. And this is a fantastic area. This is in the Hamilton Southeastern District that I was telling you about. And as well as this one, this is in the northern part of Indy. It does have a lower purchase price of $120,000. So that's going to bring your investment capital down to roughly $36,400. Your total monthly expenses are going to be lower at $800,000. With a monthly income of $374.17. And once again, our annual ROI is at 11.28, creating a 15-year project profit, $61,578.62. Okay, so Sapphire Berry Lane is in Fishers. It's in one of my favorite neighborhoods. I love Fishers. I'm very partial to Fishers because it's nice, it sells fast when I'm selling, it rents fast, and it's overall people are invested in their community, they're invested in keeping their properties nice, and we see that passing on to the renters, and we see that passing on to who ultimately will be your tenants. So breaking this one down, once again, we're close to the $150,000 price range. However, with this property in particular, I typically advise my clients when they're buying, and that is extended to you, that properties in Fishers and Noblesville, they're going to trade between 90 and 97% of the list price. And that is largely because we have a standard request of closing costs from people who are coming into these neighborhoods, because that's what they need to make it affordable. It gives the investor an edge by not requesting the closure cost to be able to get a 95 or 97% purchase price on what we're seeing listed. especially on this one because they went in, they had it on the market for 100 some odd days with not a lot of traffic, and then they decided to, one, switch brokerages, and two, they painted and redid all the floors. So we have, I wish we had interior pictures on this one. We have great interior walls and floors, and this one is absolutely move-in ready. And once again, that initial repair cost is estimated based on rekeying, making sure we have an industrial clean, and it's an overestimate on this property in particular. And with this neighborhood, which is the Woodbury neighborhood, there's a tremendous history of high rents in this neighborhood because of the quality of product and the proximity to the amenities. And at $13.50, you're still coming in below the top rent for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath in this neighborhood. As you can see, my blood pressure is going up because I'm getting excited about this property. But we have the breakdown for your mortgage and your payment. The HOA fee, that is the actual fee. It's $275 annually, and that's what it breaks out per month, creating a monthly income $358.82. It has the same breakdown and bringing a 15-year-old ROI to 12.64, which I believe is the highest we have for the night, and with a profit, 15-year profit project, sorry, 15-year projected profit, $85,614.31. Moving on to Orange Blossom, this is another one more fish. I probably should have picked some in the other areas, but right now Fishers is the hottest. It's moving the fastest, and Orange Blossom is another example of a great Fishers property. It is at the top of the A class, being at 159.5, but it has been on the market for 43 days already, and so there is room in there for some negotiation. But once again, this property will trade for less than 95%. And we're seeing a 2% annual appreciation in this neighborhood. Currently it's vacant. It's got a great lot. It's a huge house at 2,260 square feet. And all of these properties, all of them are built relatively new. So we've got, great life on the mechanicals, your HVAC, and your roofing. We have, most of these properties built in this year 2000 plus. We have 30-year shingles on them. We have quite a bit of livelihood, vitality in these properties before we have to move on. And this one does bring you to going down those expenses. Once again, we see a total monthly income, $365.83 for an annual ROI of 12.22%, and then a 15-year projected profit of $88,667.93. And we're back to Garrett for poll question number 2.
Oh, let's go back one there. Yep, I'll get the poll questions pulled up here. So we're on the second one. All right. So which property in Indianapolis that we just went over did you like the best? Was it the 15412 on Outside Trail, the one on Courage Crossing, Snowdrop Way, Sapphire Berry Lane, or Orange Blossom? Same thing like last time. We won't be posting your results publicly, so you can just take it out there 10, 15 seconds, and then we'll show you the answer. Yeah, and just in case you were wondering, these are all in order from the pictures and houses that we went over, and this just helps us get a better understanding of where you guys are at for looking at property. A few more seconds here. We almost got everyone. All right, so cool. So It looks like Chris really influenced you guys for the Fishers, and I couldn't agree more. Fishers is a great place to be. So yeah, I'm glad you guys, had some chose your different properties. And if you have any questions regarding these individually, feel free, which I'll state at the end. Let me know via email or phone call, and I'll be happy to go over these with you. So here we go.
Is it back to me?
It is. Let me get this scrolling down for. I don't know why it keeps doing this. But here, actually, you know what? Let me All right. So actually, Chris, I appreciate your time. You're awesome. But I'm going to take over from here. So thanks again, Chris.
Absolutely.
So now,
thank you guys. Give me a call, and I'm happy to talk about Indy with whoever. I love the city, and it will love your investment dollars, and you will love the returns.
All right. Thanks again, Chris. So I wanted to just touch briefly upon the preferred lender that we go through. I know we only have a few minutes left, but I think this is a very important part of the purchasing investment property, is making sure that we are getting the correct pre-approvals done. So we work with Brett over at AmeriFirst Financial. We've been working with them for a little over 11 years now. So AmeriFirst is a preferred lender that we work with, and what I mean by preferred lender is they do everything in-house. And that means the underwriting, the processing, it's all under one roof. And they are a direct lender as well. So this is, like I said, a big part as far as purchasing an investment property. We always want to make sure you're getting in touch with the right people. So during our process, during the consultations that you're going to have with me, we're going to get you in touch with, if you don't have a relationship already with someone as far as a lender, we always want to get you in touch with them. They are licensed in Tennessee, so we always want to make sure whoever in Indianapolis, they are licensed in Tennessee in all of our markets we're in, so they are licensed in Indiana. You always want to make sure the people you are going through are licensed for the homes that we're looking at in our different markets. And they have extremely very low competitive rates. So it's always something we want to make sure you're getting the lowest rate from. So if you already are using someone else or you have a relationship, it could not hurt at all just to cross-qualify you to make sure you're getting the best rate possible. If it works out, terrific. If it doesn't, you're back where you started with the original lender. So we always want to make sure you're getting the best deal out there. All right. So if you do go through the AmeriFirst process, AmeriFirst will pay for your appraisal up to $450 just by going through Marshall Reddick and the Marshall Reddick system. So this is only valid through the AmeriFirst, through the Rodriguez and Hazard team, who are the principals down there, and they're actually located in San Clemente that we work with. So about 20-25 minutes south of Newport Beach, where we are located here. And this applies just for one offer per transaction. Perfect. So with Marshall Reddick, you're getting the one-on-one mentoring every step of the way, which is my part right here. So I go through all the uncovering for you, making sure all your questions are answered, your concerns are dealt with, and then it's just me getting you in touch with the right people. So Chris, for example, out in Indianapolis, or whether it be Reed or Brett for AmeriFirst Financial, my job is to help pinpoint the right direction for you and to get you on the right track to purchase your investment property. So lastly, I know we're finishing up here. We're right on the hour almost. I would love to find some time to connect with every single one of you. I would appreciate it if you let me know, email me or call me the best time and date to connect. I know, like I said, each one of you have different schedules, so don't feel bad if you are requesting a 7:30 a.m. consultation or a 9:30 p.m. consultation. I'll definitely be able to make it, just depending on the day. And also, if you want your free Indianapolis market data report, email me for that as well, and I will certainly get that over to you. So lastly, I appreciate everyone's time that you were able to take out today. I hope you learned a lot. Look forward to connecting with each and every one of you as soon as possible. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and have a great rest of your night. Bye.